Do you remember it? The yearly fight to the death that EA and Activision used to have over our wallets in the FPS space. Now ultimately, Medal of Honor Warfighters kinda killed that IP for a bit, and Battlefield 5 was Battlefield 5. Meanwhile, Activision's three-pronged COD plan has seemed dominant. But now, we have the rumblings of extreme internal troubles with Activision, and that is all while EA, bolstered with the likes of Vince Zampella, is set to return with a vengeance, meaning that autumn 2021 may indeed be a bloodbath. I think it's going to be quite an enjoyable video. By the way, it's a new month. There is new Patreon loot if you want to get things like the Glaive pin, some sweet art, and stuff like that, and also support the show. The links are down below. Thank you for everything. Let's go.
Fucking omni shambles, that's what you are. You're like that coffee machine, you know, from bean to cup, you f up.
It's always been large, but Call of Duty has become genuinely huge over the past few years. A truly multifaceted cross-platform juggernaut of yearly releases that then feed into the ravenous demands of this new Call of Duty ecosystem that they've carved out. EA obviously hope to make a statement with Battlefield's multi-studio dream team, but the sheer amount of resources that Activision pour into Call of Duty is just staggering. Activision's cycling of annual release responsibilities mean that there are a lot of development teams involved in various different capacities. The franchise spans several core development teams and almost countless support studios on top. Now, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer Games, they take turns with the premium releases each year, though the first two studios there are of course involved with Warzone as well. Now, Infinity Ward made the IW8 game engine. That's the one in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 that made it look and feel so new. And it could reappear with this year's release, Call of Duty Vanguard. That is, if it is even this year's release. More on that later. The drama is pretty extreme. Ravensoft then handle Warzone's daily operations, and they have been hiring like crazy to keep up with that workload. Now, Treyarch are of course collaborating in right now because of their Black Ops ties. Sledgehammer Games, though, are a different story in that they really are a shambles. Their co-founders left right after World War II released. And right after that, they undertook a rapid expansion, hence their new Melbourne studio. Now, Call of Duty Cold War was originally co-led by Sledgehammer, but at some point, they were kicked off the project. Treyarch had to come in to save the day, while Raven were then enlisted to fire out that campaign. And yeah, I mean, it's a neat campaign in some ways, but it's pretty damn short, isn't it? I wonder why. Right now, Sledgehammer, of course seemingly a troubled group, are the leads in Call of Duty Vanguard, which itself is widely believed to be a complete mess, to the point where it might even be delayed past 2021 or even axed. The rumor mill suggests that we will see no core Call of Duty release this year, that instead it will be more Cold War content, perhaps a Modern Warfare 2019 revamp or more content, a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remaster even, that they've apparently had just kept in the back pocket since Beanox's Modern Warfare 2 campaign remaster. Heck, even a Modern Warfare 3 campaign remaster could be on the cards. The insider consensus is, though, that there is, quote, literally nothing about Vanguard that would make it a good release this year, or maybe any year. So yes, it's an omni shambles. Activision support studios then look pretty damn stretched themselves. We've got Toys for Bob. Bit of drama there lately. They're assisting in Call of Duty, some rumors of Overwatch as well, while reportedly also had been working on Spyro 4. Now, the news that they were moving on to Warzone almost fully was met with sheer fury. You see, rumor has it that Spyro 4 is already well along development, and of course, we then saw the departure of many of the core Spyro Reignited trilogy staff. But apparently that might not impact it. We'll cover why soon. Now, it does seem that this means that when push comes to shove, the COD beast needs to be fed. Now, we've then got Beanox, the PC port people. And they're growing in importance because of the shift over to Call of Duty being on Battle.net and a resurgence of it on PC. they have actually recently staffed up on both Unreal Engine 4 and Unity devs, and also on FPS-focused people. So it seems like they could be taking over from Toys for Bob on Spyro 4 and Crash Wumpa League, which seems to basically be a Crash Bash, but again, which would be awesome. Now, as for the other support studios, well, we've got Vicarious Visions, of course, assimilated into Blizzard, while then High Moon are assisting on Call of Duty. Though they are also hiring for a bunch of temporary roles, so there could be something going down there. Really, though, the point here is that all of these studios are being pulled onto Call of Duty, and they are all hiring pretty damn heavily. And that is no surprise, given Activision's goal of hiring 2,000-ish more developers over the next few years. With confirmation of Toys for Bob being on a COD, that is every single Activision-owned studio being involved with that franchise in some capacity over the last 2 years. Why? This is where it's big. Call of Duty is massive, and it depends entirely on those strong yearly releases that get massive sales and feed into Warzone. Now, with Call of Duty Cold War seemingly being born out of troubled development, and then Warzone being a bit of a mess for the last while, and then Vanguard apparently being scuffed, well, that all means that the Call of Duty grand plan risks running aground. That ecosystem could fall into a degree of disarray. And I think we all know that the mobile, Warzone, and big yearly release plan, that is what has driven their stock price up recently and kept it so healthy, even though they haven't had the likes of Destiny. So, no shit that they are doing everything they can to defend that position. And I think, defend it, they must. Battlefield 5 hit us in 2018. Complete with its bungled marketing campaign, not enough content, a battle royale that nobody asked for, and a live service that fizzled out early. It was a disappointment. A new one was expected last year, in keeping with the schedule, but EA announced that the franchise is targeting new innovation that will be enabled by next-gen platforms, where they say they wanted the beefier technology, they wanted the consoles to be out and have a decent install base for their big, exciting new game. And that does make a lot of sense. Players have been in the dark since, and I think we have to be real for a second, where I think there was a pretty damn good chance that they knew they could not afford another lackluster product like BF5. And this is where we've got some news, because a full reveal is set to come soon, and they apparently have the biggest team in franchise history, spanning DICE, DICE LA, EA Gothenburg, and Criterion. It seems they know this one really has to be good. They took more time, they have more studios, and based on the leaked screenshots, it appears that weather may tie into the maps in a big way. Now, I don't know if we can show these screenshots without being DMCA'd, but there's a goddamn tornado in one of them. Looks pretty cool. So clearly to me, they cut Battlefield 5 short. I mean, compare the content of 5 and 1. They clearly cut 5 short. I think they did that to pool resources, knowing they needed something big for the return of Battlefield. So perhaps there's hope yet. And apparently recent rumors even suggest that BF6 will have a free-to-play element. Hard to tell, but perhaps they're going to try to roll their own Warzone competitor. I mean, Battlefield 5 Firestorm was not a terrible experience. It just wasn't really what core Battlefield fans wanted, and it clearly came at the expense of content that they did want, and then it was paywalled to the point where people who only want the Battle Royale couldn't hop in easily, so it obviously didn't find success. And it does make me think, could EA successfully launch a free-to-play modern conflict Battle Royale? Because they have the IP, they have the experience, and they probably won't screw up the business model again. I would say yes, that they will want to do that. And in a world where Apex Legends is already standing toe-to-toe with Warzone, that would be bad news for Activision. And that leads us to the 2021 fight. Here we are then, two FPS juggernauts, both consuming vast amounts of in-house resources. Who's going to win? Well, that's where it's going to be really interesting. Activision has got all available resources on Call of Duty. Within Call of Duty, they've got their big yearly release, they've got their big mobile game, and their big free-to-play Battle Royale. Now, as Cold War and Warzone players will know, that's not always ideal. Cold War seems to have hurt Warzone. Balance has been off, updates have felt late, all that stuff. EA, on the other hand, though, have Battlefield as their big shooter franchise. They've got Apex Legends as their big free-to-play battle royale. Yes, BF6 is eating up resources, but if BF6 sucks, it's not going to drag Apex Legends down with it. If a new Call of Duty sucks, it does risk dragging Warzone down with it. Apex, then, is mostly developed by a big Respawn Entertainment sub-team in their own office. All while the rest of Respawn is doing Jedi Fallen Order 2, amongst other things. And while the rest of EA keeps on pumping out FIFA, and where you've got BioWare doing Dragon Age and Mass Effect 4. EA clearly feel more diversified, don't they? Their eggs are not all in one basket. Apex is already standing toe-to-toe with Warzone, both have got 100 million player accounts, and Apex is even now expanding into a 3v3 arena mode, and its growth has pretty much been drama-free compared to the latest era of Warzone. So 2021 will be massive, and it risks being terrible for Activision. Could it even be so terrible as to motivate Bobby's pay cut? I mean, imagine this. Call of Duty Vanguard is in no fit state, and therefore is not the 2021 game. Activision then scramble more Cold War content, or perhaps Modern Warfare content. They fire out a Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remaster, maybe even with a Modern Warfare 3 campaign remaster. They pull out all of the stops to survive the sting of having no major release. Business-wise, sounds like a disaster. Honestly though, it might be better for the Warzone players. But the point is, Call of Duty would be partially on fire in a way it hasn't been in ages. And while that would be happening, EA would be continuing to nail it with Apex. Battlefield 6 then releases. And basically it's Battlefield 4, a fan favorite, but on steroids. Truly feeling next gen. A 128-player game that, due to extended development, actually has more content than Battlefield 5, is better considered than Battlefield 5, and also is more stable at launch. Add to that the potential of a free-to-play element, maybe even a Battle Royale element, and then it's looking extremely rough for Activision. Especially then, when Apex Legends Mobile rears its head to fight COD Mobile. EA are looking strong in the shooter space, and they've got plenty going on outside of that. Unlike Activision, who have seemingly scrambled everything to Call of Duty. Now yes, Spyro 4 and Crash Wumpa League, those exist it seems, but EA just seem to have more. Thematically, this whole thing is rather funny. Activision like to project a dominant facade, but the truth is, EA could mount a genuine challenge, and I think we've laid that out pretty well here today. The combo of Respawn and a good Battlefield will be hard to fight. And that incredible performance of Respawn cannot be overstated. All of their Apex success that went down while also making Jedi Fallen Order, the Medal of Honor game, the Jedi Fallen Order sequel, Apex's new arena mode, and a fresh IP. And this is where it's funny, because Activision drove Vince Zampella and Jason West out of Infinity Ward after Modern Warfare 2, right? They left along with many of their best people. And sure, Respawn did not do great sales with Titanfall 1 and 2, but since then, they have been sticking it to their old corporate masters at Activision. Which is all, of course, funnier when you know that they originally fled to Activision from EA, because they were the Medal of Honor guys originally. So while things go smoothly at EA, as Vince heads up Respawn and DICE LA, and the other things are going well, Activision is left scrambling. Cold War seems like it was almost a disaster. I mean, having one of its lead developers booted off the project, and then Raven having to come in to get that campaign in existence, seems like it was a near miss to me. We've got Vanguard, which is widely rumored to be a disaster. And both those things, I mean, Cold War did upset Warzone. If Vanguard was released and was in a mixed state, it would upset Warzone. And that means that if I was a betting man, I would expect EA to actually win out, at least for now. Activision will be a terrifying force to reckon with for them once they have got the kinks of their new Call of Duty plan worked out. But with them seemingly only doing the mass hiring up now, they might need to eat a few losses. Unless, in 2019, they referenced having 10 titles in development. Now this is after a few of the remasters had came out, including nitro-fueled Crash Team Racing. 3 of those were reportedly Call of Duty games. 7 were not. For those 7, we've got Crash 4, Spyro, the new Spyro game that we believe is being developed, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remaster, the Crash Wumpa League game that we also believe is in development, and 3 others. And one of those apparently, well, here's the quote, "One is a new third-party IP to replace the gap that Destiny once filled." Does that mean that Activision actually might have something big up their sleeve? What it could be, none of us know, but if successful, then perhaps they could withstand this multi-IP assault that EA are about to unleash on them. Now look, I know that Blizzard's been a bit left out today, and it's not because they're not relevant. They can drive serious numbers, and they do have a shooter game in the works with Overwatch 2. They'll be big in years to come with OW2 and D4, but the point for today is more player-focused. When you look at the core Activision publishing and EA offerings in the shooter space, in that traditional shooter space, I think you see that Call of Duty's competition is the Battlefield Apex blend. And if we're to focus on the players, then that is the fight that is going on here. Now, if we're going to focus on business and stocks and all of that, then yes, World of Warcraft makes infinite money. And while late, D4 and Overwatch 2 will as well. Not that the average Call of Duty audience will care that much, perhaps as they see their franchise struggle in the face of EA's completely bonkers 2021. So that's it for today. Do you think that this is a load of bull? Do you think EA could actually pull it out with Battlefield 6? I think that because they have done great things in the past, with almost all of the Battlefield franchise, if we're really honest about it, that they've now had more resources and more time, I think the Battlefield 6 could seriously be an absolute banger. And if it is, and especially if there is some free-to-play element that can also fight Warzone, whew, that's going to be rough for Activision. So let me know what you think. Of course, there's more content on the channel, and if you want to support what our team is doing and also get some sweet loot in the process, head on that Patreon link down below. That's it for me. Have a wonderful day. I will see you next time.